Okay, sorry about that. I think my video is going to only be 10 minutes long, so I had to cut the other one short. But what we did in this problem was we used Pythagorean theorem, and we said that the answer should be for the side length, it should be 5 radical 2 over 2. And I know that looks really confusing, but this is as simplified as it can go. Now that's Pythagorean theorem. Okay, you are more than welcome to do Pythagorean theorem. It's just going to be a little bit more work. Again, the shortcut that I told you is if you can remember that for 45, 45, 90 triangles, if you can remember this formula, the side length times radical 2 equals hypotenuse, it's going to be quicker. And let me show you why. Okay, so the side length this time is x times radical 2 equals the hypotenuse, which is 5. Okay, well, we want to obviously solve for x, so we have to divide both sides by 2. And now we have x equals 5 divided by radical 2. And now you know, well, I can't have a radical in the bottom. So to get rid of that, I multiply both the top and the bottom by whatever that radical is. And radical times radical 2, this cancels, the radicals cancel out, and you're just left with 1, 2. And then 5 radical 2 is just 5 radical 2. And oh my gosh, it's the same answer. So this is a lot less work than Pythagorean theorem, but you are more than welcome to do that anytime. It will always work. Okay, so another example. I want you guys to pause it and try either use Pythagorean theorem or use a shortcut or do both and see what you get for x. Okay, I'm going to do Pythagorean theorem first because I know some people, we've been doing this since chapter 1. It's going to be hard to let go of for some people. Okay, so 1x squared plus 1x squared equals 16 squared. So 2x squared equals, I believe this is 256, but I don't want to be wrong. Oops, 16 squared. Yes, I'm right. Okay, and then you have to divide by 2, and you get x squared equals 256 divided by 2, 128. And then we have to square root, and then you have to simplify the radical. Oops, 128. Okay, so 128, I know I can divide that by 2 and 64. And then let's see, 64, it goes into 8 and 8. And so there's a pair. They go out together. And here's the loner. Stays in. So I'm saying that x should equal 8 radical 2 using Pythagorean theorem. Using the shortcut, the side length times radical 2 equals the hypotenuse. I'm going to fill in my notes. Side length is x times radical 2 should equal 16. All right. Well, divide both by radical 2. And now I have x equals 16 divided by radical 2. And I know I don't like the radicals on the bottom. It's a big no-no. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by the denominator. And I'm going to get 16 radical 2 over 2. And then look just at the whole numbers. What's 16 divided by 2? That's going to be 8 radical 2. So if you really like Pythagorean theorem, please go for it. This shortcut is a little bit faster once you get the hang of it, but it's up to you. Okay, so those are 4 different questions that I've given you. The other type of question will be word problems. And whenever, okay, so it says Janet is cutting a square, super important, of material for a tablecloth. The table's diagonal is 36 inches long, and she wants the diagonal to be an extra 10 inches long, so it'll hang over the edges of the table. That makes sense, right? What size squares should Janet cut to make the tablecloth? So basically, if you drew a picture, we have a square, which you guys are super familiar with now that we've done chapter 6 already. We jumped around. We know the square has right angles, and the sides are the same. And she knows that the diagonal, she wants the diagonal, well, the diagonal of the table is 36, and she wants it to be an extra 10 inches long, so the diagonal should be 46 inches. Well, what kind of special right triangle did we just make right here? Oh my gosh, we made a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Sweet, because these two sides are the same. So this angle will be 45 and this angle will be 45. And we know that these two sides are going to be the same, so this will be x and this will be x. So whenever you see the word square, you're going to associate that with a 45, 45, 90 triangle. All right, so super important that you remember square. You're going to be using the 45, 45, 90 application. So you can do Pythagorean theorem. I'm not going to. I'm going to use a shortcut, and the shortcut is that the side length times radical 2 equals the hypotenuse. So side length is x times radical 2 equals the hypotenuse, oops, which is 46. So basically all I have to do is take 46 and divide it by radical 2, and that'll be what x is. So multiply both by radical 2, and we have 46 radical 2 over 2, and then these two can reduce, and we get 23 radical 2. It says round it to the nearest inch, so if you pop that into your calculator, that'll tell you how long it should be in inches, but I want you to also know that this is a correct answer as well. All right, so squares we're going to associate with 45, 45, 90 triangles. All right, have fun with those 45, 45, 90 triangles. Think to yourself about why 45, 45, 90 triangles are so special. What is the shortcut? And what can you always fall back and use if you forget the shortcut?